Good morning, and how are you doing on this fine Thursday morning? It's beautiful out there, probably hotter than balls. I know it's been hot out here the last few days. Last weekend it was very hot in the out on the west coast. I hope that you fared well through that if that's where you're from. But last night I went for a walk, and when I came back I felt like I needed another shower. It was pretty nasty. But anyway, you're not here to hear how my night went. You're here for what's going to happen today, right? Okay, well, let's get down to it. So first up, who is our guide for today? The halls. I think we've only ever seen that card come up once, but this is going to be a little tone setter, I think. So let's go see what the halls have for us. So, it looks like we're going to be working towards something greater today. Looks like our rewards for our work are going to be coming in. So even if you're a little scared today, don't worry, be brave. You're going to be working toward greater things. And so the halls, if you have a look at this, you can clearly see Thor, and it looks like he's standing in one hallway. As a matter of fact, I see two, and let me tell you why I see two. Because there are two places. Everyone knows about the halls of Valhalla, where Odin and his Einherjar, or his battle dead, are said to reside. But what you don't know is about one called Sessrumnir. Sessrumnir is Freya's hall, and she gets first pick of the battle dead. Let that sink in. There are two places. So guess what? Not every warrior is guaranteed Valhalla. Some will have Sessrumnir in their future. So, with our halls and our sacrifices, our work, our deeds being rewarded, let's see what our spirit animal's looking like. We have a porcupine for today. So this is time for that beginner mindset. So we're going to approach today from that point where we're starting over. Excuse me one moment. Sorry, it would seem he has decided to stir up trouble today. Okay. You're going to sit with me. That's right. Might as well just lay down. Take a load off. We're doing it one take and uncut, people. Okay, now that I've got him good and relaxed, just relax. There we go. Okay, so let's get into today's reading. So for our past card, we've got a nice little Six of Wands. For our present, we have a Two of Swords. And for our future, there's an Eight of Coins. I gotta tell you, this looks pretty good to me. For that Six of Wands, we can actually see that there's there is some kind of a cooperative fire going on. There's a bit of passion there. You know what it is? I think he just wants to be fed early. That's why he's nudging the legs of the tripod right now. Not to worry, bub, you're going to be fed in due time. So, let's get into that 6 of Wands, shall we? But we do have some victory in our past, some achievement, and some pride. We have something for which to be proud. That is never a bad thing. Oh, no. Ah, fuck. See, kids, this is what we're talking about. He's in rare form today. Dude, stop it. Okay. Sorry, folks, he has decided he's going to be difficult. Lay down. I don't know if you caught that, but he is now trying to attack me. What he did was he took that piece of black tourmaline completely off the table. And I'm not allowing him to do certain things this morning. I think what it is he wants to be fed early, but no. Here. Down. Calm down. No, you're not going to attack me. Calm down. Just cool out. Sorry, I have to do this. There we go. Nice and easy. Alright. So we do have some victory, achievement, and pride with that particular card. Let's see. Okay, where was I? Before I was rudely interrupted here. With the 2 of Swords, it looks like we're going to be doing some decision making. There is going to be some duality there. Definite Gemini No, this is sort of that Libra energy here. We do have to consider both sides of just about everything right now. But going to that 8 of Coins, I'm definitely looking at one of the things that pops out about the 8 of Coins, particularly with this deck. Usually it means workmanship and duty, and that's one of those things that I'm focused on duty with that one. But with that 6 of Wands, you do have some sustenance, some sharing, gratitude. Definitely be thankful. The 2 of Swords, you're going to have a little introspection and a little equilibrium, so don't worry too much. Everything's kind of in balance at the moment. But again, approach it from a beginner's perspective. If you're not sure which way to go, just kind of weigh out your options. Don't overthink it, just weigh out your options. And that 8 of Coins is looking at some movement, definitely some duty there. So while you do have your accomplishments and your source of pride here, it's definitely a good idea not to get too caught up in it. It's also a great idea to start deciding what you want to do next, because right now, while some ventures might have been successful, now's a good time to figure out what's next. Because no one just, how can I put this? Well, with that end being that earth sign or that material wealth and possessions, I can't think of a millionaire or even a billionaire that made their first million and said, that's it, that's all I want to do. Most who make that kind of money, they go on to the next thing. What other things can they fund that will What other products can they back? And everything is a gamble. So for someone to back Apple computers back in the day was a bit of a gamble. In fact, one of the 3 people involved with Apple, sold all of his shares to Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak and left the company because he didn't want to be responsible for any disasters that might have happened. He kind of let his fear do the speaking. And then what happened? Those shares in Apple ballooned, and he missed out on billions. Guy could have been a billionaire, but he let his fear do the speaking. I say definitely don't let the fear do the speaking, because it looks like the risk you take today will pay off pretty nicely tomorrow. I mean, look at her, she's pretty happy. So I think you're gonna be okay. And he is really in rare form this morning. I'm not sure why. Alright, so getting down to working our light, what do we got to clarify this little spread? Play. The initiation and deep replenishment. You know, today's looking pretty good. Remember what I said about celebrating your accomplishments? Well, that's what this one's pointing out. Celebrate. Don't be so serious. Have a little fun today. The initiation is sort of that rite of passage. That's lining everything. So far, everything's kind of lining up. So right now, this is your initiation. This is where your success is there. It's a good idea to celebrate, but now you have to think of what's next. That's the test of anyone who's ever had a successful venture. Because when you've made that first success, now you want to move on to the next thing. That next thing is a test of whether or not you'll make an even better decision, or whether, this is sort of success or, failure. You always will learn from your failures. So if this is a failure, you will learn from it. And that's what comes about with this suit right here. You will have to rest a little bit. You're going to have to heal, especially if it is a failure. And it looks like it may be. But don't worry, the end is still very, very much, very secure to me. Because you will learn from those failures and grow successful. So finally, what do we have for the secrets? What secrets do the halls have for us today? Well, we've got Ingus, Manas, and of course Yera. Things are actually looking pretty good all over for today, because so Ingus, this is your strength. Now, while you're celebrating, you've got that decision. Remember, right now, let's take crypto for example. Crypto, stocks, precious metals. Doesn't matter which one you own, how much of it you own. Nothing goes up in a straight line. They will have parabolic rises, and they have crashes. That happens. It's what you learn from your successes and failures that make you even stronger. That profound strength that you will inevitably show has to come very slowly. It has to come over time. This is personal process. And with Manas being there, this is your opportunity to develop yourself in all the ways you can. So this is like personal process of development and growth. Let it come kind of slowly. Let it come over time. Develop yourself in all the ways you can. If there are skills you want to learn, now is the time to do them. Today is a great day to do them. Again, we're pointing right at that rite of passage. Sometimes you can't always be 100% about work, right? Like you don't come to this channel, you see one video per day, and then some weekends, like this weekend, I have decided to kind of change formats a little bit where I will read on Friday for the entire weekend. It worked last time, and it was, in my opinion, it worked out pretty well, so that's how I'm going to be doing them. I've given some thought to experimenting with other things, but it's important to kind of back away, even when it's something you love. Let's face it, not many of us like getting up, going to work, punching a clock, and then, doing all that. That can be a bummer. So yeah, you need a couple days off. Even if it's something you love, it's not a good idea to just completely immerse yourself in it for too long. You do need those little breaks, and you need to, rest. Even if you love to exercise, it's important to take a couple of days of active rest somewhere. That way, muscle has time to repair itself, and you have time to build. Everything is going to be about personal process, and you must discover yours. I hope it's making sense. But now we get to Yera, and at the end of this whole thing, you can see it's pointing right to that 8 of coins. It's all lining up. Some things you are not going to know right off the bat. That's fine. And here comes the summary. Today, working towards something much bigger than just your own personal gain will actually see to it that you gain in many ways. You are going to benefit personally from the work you do for a larger cause, larger group, that sort of thing. So remember that you can celebrate your past successes if you've had any. You can cite those. You can make those decisions that will ultimately affect the outcomes. Give it time. Listen to what others may have to say. And then from there, if you can properly strategize that kind of thing, you are going to be successful. Not only will you benefit a much larger group, you will also benefit yourself. Is that making sense? Okay, so trust your own processes. I know that those cards haven't really come up, but that's what I'm getting out of this. Trust your own processes. Have fun with it. But remember that you have to stop at some point. Okay, it's important. Again, we're going back to having things balanced out. And I can see balance here and in here. I can see balance with these two cards. I can see balance in just about everywhere I look. Really approach it as a beginner. Like that porcupine. Approaching it as a beginner helps you to you're staying open to new information that you really didn't think you knew, or stuff you probably didn't know. I can tell you a good example is I know someone who had a space heater they were looking to plug in, and they didn't realize that on the bottom there was a recessed area where you could wrap the cable and only stick a little out. That way you didn't have a massive cable, power cable sticking out. That was built into the design. Of course, I know about it and a few others did, but this person didn't, and it kind of took them by surprise. It's fine. That happens. So look for those little life hacks. Stay open. Be ready and willing to learn as much as you need to. But that's everything that I have for you today. Let me do a quick summary. Work toward a greater good. Approach everything from a beginner mindset where you're open to new information. Really make those decisions. This is going to be more of a rite of passage for you. Have fun. Remember that you do need occasional rest from this. Let that personal power build very slowly, and it's going to be Reward City. Understood? Okay. That's it for me. I got to get out of here and get this thing into the editor. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for seeking the advice here. I love you all. Be sure to love yourself. And as always, shine on.